out in the open, and the verdict is that Mr. Babanga Tukuru remains the national chairman of the People's Democratic Party. Now, this was part of the outcome of the National Executive Council meeting today. There were speculations before this meeting that Mr. Tukuru may be compelled to resign, along with some other members of the National Working Committee. Other issues discussed at the meeting include President Goodluck Jonathan's concerns about the violence in most parts of the north. He, however, refuted claims that all the killings are perpetrated by Boko Haram. The president says reports reaching him indicate that the violence, especially that of Zamfara State, is purely ethnic cleansing. He wondered why ethnic groups that have lived together for several decades resort to killing each other, and asked the governments present to take up the challenge of reversing the situation. He also spoke about the role that PDP is playing in the political stability of Nigeria.
One good thing that Nigerians should commend PDP now is that if you look at the evolution of the political parties, it is now stable. Before, when elections are coming, by now you'll be hearing about new parties being formed. And at the time the ballot paper was becoming too long, INEC was finding a way of the wrestling parties. But because PDP has come on very strong, no matter the criticism they are criticizing us, you know that PDP is very, very solid. So even if we disagree, we will agree at the end of the day. And it will even help to build a stronger party. So Nigeria should commend PDP. If PDP were weak, people wouldn't have gathered together. They could have said, they wouldn't have any reason for parties to come together to fight PDP. But when you have so many parties on their own, they know they cannot face us until they come together. Then they know that we are formidable. And PDP will continue to be stronger. And no matter the gang up, I don't see how they can approach PDP.
Nigeria's President, Dr. Goodluck Jonathan. Now, while some things are going to stay the same, the National Executive Committee today accepted the resignation of 12 members of its National Working Committee, whose 2012 election, according to the Independent National Electoral Commission, violated the guidelines for the Congresses and National Convention. The NEC then appointed a caretaker committee of 20 to run the party until the National Convention scheduled for July the 15th. Our correspondent Lanre Lasisi reports.
Posters, party supporters and security officials at the national headquarters of the People's Democratic Party in Abuja, all in place for the 61st National Executive Committee meeting of the party. The national chairman, who many say may leave office, arrives and walks out to the chairs from his supporters. Inside, members of the National Executive Committee gathered till the president arrives. The national chairman opened the meeting and emphasized the need for party discipline.
These good values cannot be realized without accepting the supremacy of the party constitution as key instrument that ensures progress, stability, and internal discipline.
The chairman of the PDP Governors Forum, Governor Goodluck Jonathan, promised that the governors will continue to support the party and the president. In his response, the president said his administration will continue to deliver his promise of developing the country.
And my assurance to you is that the 23 PDP governors are solidly behind you. 23 PDP governors are solidly behind you.
For us, myself, the Vice President, and members of our team, we promise the party that we will not disappoint you.
It wasn't time for the meeting proper, and one of the resolutions reached was a vote of confidence on the president.
In view of the above, that I, Senator Ibrahim Nasir Mantu, do hereby move that the members of the National Executive Committee of our great party pass a vote of confidence on the President, Commander-in-Chief, Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, the Reformation Prophet.
Any objection to whatever? Good. So all of you who approve it to say aye. Aye. I have it.
When the meeting ended, the national chairman said confidently that the meeting went well.
They are free to be against me. There's nothing wrong. In life, you have friends, you have enemies. But me, all are my friends.
Okay. Other resolutions reached in the meeting include accepting the resignation of members of the NWC and the reconvening of a special convention to elect new officials.
Were also approved by the National Executive Committee, particularly the approval of the guidelines that will govern the procedure of the zone of congresses and the National Convention.
The party says its focus now is how to conduct elections that will bring about duly elected officials for the National Working Committee of the party. Lanre Lasisi, Channels Television News.
Well, as we reported today, the National Executive Committee of the People's Democratic Party passed the vote of confidence on President Goodluck Jonathan, declaring that Nigeria has made significant progress in many sectors under his leadership. In that motion moved by the former Deputy Senate President Ibrahim Mantu and unanimously adopted by all members present at the meeting, the party commended the president's resolute and decisive tackling of the nation's security challenges, which it said had curbed terrorism and insurgency in Nigeria, particularly in the northeast region. The party also applauded the ongoing reforms and development in the country, particularly those in agriculture, aviation, transportation and the education sectors. Well, it was indeed a busy day for the president, as he also gave audience to the Honorary International Investors Council, led by Baroness Lynda Chalker. The meeting held just before the National Executive Committee meeting of the PDP. And now at that meeting, the president sought international cooperation in resolving the violence in northern Nigeria.
One area that I believe you are all concerned, and we're all concerned, is the issue of security. And you have been monitoring, especially some of you who have investments or in companies that have investment like Shell and others. The issue of security is quite worrisome. We are trying our best. You are aware of the declaration of state of emergency in 3 of the northern states. From that time till now, at least the situation has improved reasonably. And the positive aspect of that is that the local population is now working with government. You see young men from within these areas volunteering to assist the security services to hunt for these criminals. For the HIIC members, we continue to appreciate your commitment and your concern for us, and continue to urge you to do more, because for us to get to where we want to go, then of course, like Aganga said, we will attract external funds, we will attract external investors.
The National Human Rights Commission has launched a campaign against electoral impunity in Nigeria from 2003 till date. The Commission says it hopes to do this through an initiative that will help to identify and prosecute culprits. At a news conference in Abuja, the chairman of the Commission says it's collaborating with the Ford Foundation Research Project to achieve this objective. Our correspondent Gloria Umezuke reports.
Over the years, the nation has witnessed elections characterized by electoral woes and impunities. Several groups have called for ways of curbing the impunity that is prevalent in Nigerian elections. To this end, the National Human Rights Commission has taken up this challenge, the agitation for the entrenchment of credible electoral system without impunity. Huge support came from the Senate, foreign organizations, and other high-ranking individuals.
If we are going to change this country, we will have to name names. We are not going to run away from accountability. And we are going to invite the politicians who present themselves to our people for acknowledgement to do what? To take a stake in sanitizing our electoral process so that we begin to attract good people.
Once you allow a candidate that has not been captured through the process